G'day, Lee here from MPG with my weekly real estate market update. I do hope you're having a fantastic week. I've got a few insights to share this week, and insights that I've sort of reflected on and taken away from this month's report from Heron Todd White. So every month, Heron Todd White released this full article in depth across all markets across Australia, including Queensland here and the Sunshine Coast. So I just wanted to share a few things, but one of the first things that they report on is the resilience that's shown in the Australian property market right now. And that's the consensus across all reports I'm reading, is that despite the cash rate rises, despite the economic uncertainty, despite the cost of living pressures, it seems like the property market is very resilient, and we're still seeing the property market values grow. And the rental market's still very tight, and rental values are growing as well. So that seems to be the consensus, even off the back of last week's news, right? Media hype and speculation based on a recent meeting from the RBA, speculating that there might be a cash rate rise. Now, what do you think happens when the media says, hey, there's going to be potentially a cash rate rise? Buyers pull back, right? Buyers pull back. And when the media says there's going to be a cash rate cut later in the year, buyers get all active. And that's exactly what we've just seen. We saw buyers come out, and they were very active because everyone started talking about a potential rate cut towards the end of the year. Now the RBA's got new inflationary figures. The inflation's sitting around 5%. They're still concerned that inflation's not coming back into place. And cost of living seems to going up. Check out olive oil prices. I tell you what, I love olive oil, but I don't know if I'll be paying those prices. So that's what's happening, right? So the media talks about this rate rise, buyers pull back, but whatever the case is, we're still seeing a very resilient, buoyant property market. And I think for the Sunshine Coast, if you want to check it out, the property clock supplied by Heron Todd White is in my weekly blog. And you can check that out at martinuzzi.com.au. So have a look at that. On other news in the property market right now, we're seeing a merge or a shift towards the unit market, or more medium and high density dwellings, attached dwellings as we call them. So there seems to be that movement already happening in our capital cities. And I have no doubt we'll see that happen here on the Sunshine Coast as well. We've already seen a number of new developments happening on the coast over the last few years, offering more units and townhouse opportunities for people to move into. And the reason for that shift really is because to buy a detached dwelling, a house on land, it's just very unaffordable for many people. So people have to look for more affordable options. And at the moment, the unit market in the capital cities represent that value. So that's why the shift back towards the unit market is happening. And we will see that happen here on the Sunshine Coast. I think that's good news for the likes of Palmwoods and Mumbai, biased because I live here. But we have beautiful residential blocks, beautiful nature surrounding us. We're still very close to all the facilities on the Sunshine Coast. And from what I understand, the next town planning that's going to get rolled out this year is that the council doesn't want to open up on any more new mass land developments in the area. They want to keep our hinterland as it is. So what they'll probably focus on is more medium and high density zoning opportunities on our coastline within the town centre, Maroochydore, etc., Caloundra, and things like that. So I think we'll see a shift towards more medium and high density dwellings happening on the Sunshine Coast over the next decade. More affordable opportunities for people to enter the market as well, because right now, let's be honest, if you're a young couple trying to get into the market, there's limited opportunities for you. So I think that is a trend that Heron Todd White talked about in their report, and I think that's what we're going to see up here on the coast over the next decade as well. Now, looking at the housing market at the moment, it's quite interesting really, because still to buy new and build, the costs are pretty high to do that. There's limited land opportunities to do that. And the other thing is the time to build is quite lengthy as well, from what I understand. And there is this risk too, because we're seeing a number of companies falling over here and there. The recent one being Bonza, yesterday falling over. So there is this risk of building with a company and then, having them go bust basically. So people move towards established. But what we're seeing in established, and this is where I often can't understand, is that you can buy an older quality home in Palmwoods, for example, and you can renovate it, and you'll still be having more money left in your back pocket at the end of the day compared to as if you would buy a house and land new that represents the same key features and value, right? But people aren't doing that. It's kind of strange. People are still going for the shiny new turnkey opportunities. So if you have an old home that's fully renovated as new, then those homes seem to be getting the most attention. Those homes seem to be getting the premium prices, and those homes seem to be selling in the quicker time frames as well. So that's just an interesting trend we're seeing at the moment. Now we're seeing, I think still, it's more affordable, and you're going to have more money in your back pocket to buy established than you are to buy new. But that might shift as people start to realize that actually, hang on, buying established makes more sense because I'll have more money left over. And yes, I might have to do some renovations, but still at the end of the day, we'll be better off. So that makes a lot of sense if you're looking at the cost of living pressures and stuff putting on households and families at the moment. So that's my market update this week. If you want to have a read of my blog, again, head on over to martinwoodsey.com.au. I've got a little fun fact about the population density in Australia in that article as well, so check that out. I'll stick the link below if you're watching this video. Have a great week ahead and we'll talk soon.